When I was a kid, I had a kooky adopted grandfather who everybody called Barry. Robert Ainsworth Barry was actually his full name. My parents moved to Rochester, New York in the mid-1980s, a place where they had no friends or family. At their first apartment, Barry lived in the unit above theirs and introduced himself by welcoming them with a tray of brownies. He was their first friend in the city where they continue to live 40 years later. Throughout my childhood, Barry was invited to birthdays, Thanksgiving dinners, and Christmases with us, and remained an adopted member of our family until he passed away in 2014. As a child, I didn't appreciate that Barry was actually an incredibly gifted and talented artist. I mainly remember the laughter that filled our house when he was there. When Barry passed away, he left his entire art portfolio to my family, totaling over 140 original pieces. It was Barry's lifelong dream that his art reach people all over the world. And for years, Barry's artwork has sat in boxes in my family home in Rochester, New York, until now. Barry was born in Rochester, New York, in either 1923 or 1924. It's uncertain because the orphanage where Barry grew up burned down and his birth certificate was lost in the fire. Barry was dropped off at an orphanage by his mother when he was 5 years old. Barry told us that this was because his mother felt she was unable to take care of a young child. This is a bit odd because Barry had a brother that his parents continued to raise. Neither of his parents or his brother ever visited him in the orphanage, and Barry never reconnected with his family again. He was raised in the orphanage by Catholic nuns until the age of 18. When Barry was about 20 years old, he enlisted to serve in World War II. He worked as a typing clerk in the U.S. Army and was stationed in the Philippines. It's unclear how long Barry served overseas, but soon after the war ended, he returned to the U.S. and moved to New York City. In New York, Barry pursued a career in the performing arts. He studied at the Martha Graham Center of Contemporary Dance, the oldest school of dance in the United States. He then danced professionally in the Jose Limon Dance Company for a number of years. He even performed as a cage dancer in nightclubs in Greenwich Village as a side gig. This was the 1950s and 60s, so this was pretty edgy stuff at the time. It was during this period that Barry started to delve into the visual arts as well, drawing and painting, primarily as a hobby. It was also at this time that Barry started reading the works of esteemed theologian and philosopher, Thomas Merton. Like Merton, Barry entered the monastic community of the Abbey of Gethsemane in Trappist, Kentucky, where he lived as a monk for several years. During this period, Barry explored themes of spirituality and naturalism, concepts that strongly influenced Barry's artwork. It's no coincidence that at this time, Barry got much more serious about drawing and painting as well. After spending years in the monastery, Barry returned to Rochester in the mid-1970s and settled into a more typical lifestyle. He found work in the garment industry, working as a tailor in various clothing stores and boutique manufacturers, most notably McFarland's Clothing Company. However, during these years, Barry continued to create more and more art. He eventually discovered the medium that would define the rest of his artist career: felt pen and design marker on paper. Barry produced the majority of his best work during the mid-1980s through the late 1990s. Into his old age, he continued to draw and resided in Rochester, New York until 2014, when he passed away. Barry was more than just an artist. He was a compassionate, zany, and gentle person who made a huge impact on me, my family, and those who had the pleasure to be his friends. Barry was thoughtful, spiritual, and quite frankly, larger than life. And his artworks really reflect that. It was always his dream to share his art and creativity with the world, and that's why we're unveiling his portfolio of over 140 original artworks for the world to finally see. On Friday, December 6th, we'll be unveiling Barry's artworks to the public for the first time in over a decade. The exhibit will feature the works of deceased artists who served in the United States military and will be held from 5:30 p.m. to 9:30 p.m. at VFW Post 1, located in Denver's Santa Fe Arts District. To learn more about Barry's life and works, check out barryra.com and the Barry Ra Art Instagram page. Thanks for watching.